Alright, we're going to fix this. I've already done a lot of testing on this unit, so I know what needs to be changed out in it, and the customer okayed it. So, but yeah, this is going to be a repair on a solar pack Parmak solar pack 6. This is a 6-volt unit. They also make a 12-volt model as well. This is a 6-volt. But here's information. I'd like to send one to us for repair. Now, this one's pretty rough. This is on the worser end of things. Water damage galore, to say the least. I believe, after doing some testing on everything, I believe the transformer, even though it looks kind of rough, it is still good. We did ohms checks on things. We tugged on the wire to make sure they weren't brittle and broken. I think we are good. Transformer, we are going to clean a lot of stuff up. But what we're going to change in this is the board, the switch, and the needle gauge. So the only thing I think is going to be original to this besides the case is the transformer. I told the guy, if it ends up needing that, I'll call you. But he kind of, well, let's go ahead and do what you got to do right now. Because it was a bit cheaper than buying a new one. You know, with our 18-month warranty, it wasn't too bad a deal. Parts aren't super expensive for these things, so he was pretty okay with it. Now, if this transfer ends up being bad, then of course we'll call and let him know, and then he may say, you know, for an extra amount of money, I can go out and buy a new one after that. So we're going to start just by unplugging wires, which we've already, the red one over here on the positive side was already broken. We are going to put a new switch on it, so we can go ahead and pull these switch wires off the back of the switch. Come on. Oh man, the nose is running out. Fighting a little bit of cold. He picked up from the kids. And they all go to daycare, so they get every kind of snot-nosed cold you can think of. We'll bring it home and give it to mom and dad. Alright, so now we got to get this board out of here. So now we're going to squeeze these little things and pop it up. Let's see what the back side of this board looks like. Oh yeah, look at all that. Yum. Just want to scrape this all off and put it on a sandwich. Like Parmesan cheese on spaghetti. Alright, let's pop this switch piece off. I usually keep these. We don't use the same switches that they do. But I keep those because occasionally someone needs one. Or calls and see if we have one. Now we're going to take the nut loose on this switch. Oh, dang, that is bound up on there hard. Spray a little rub juice on there. Oh. Let's work this around. Oh, that loosened up pretty quick. Probably just a little bit was hanging it up. Alright, there's a switch. Yeah, look at that switch. All rusted out. It couldn't even turn the dumb thing. I don't know if it's stuck in the on position or what. Alright. Now we got to get the switch, this gauge out as well. We're going to, let's see, we need a different bit. Let's just go with this one. I think this one will work. Needing your battery, hold on. Alright, we're going to do a different bit on there though. That one's a little bigger than I think we need, so we'll use this one. Come on! There we go. Oh, I missed it. Oh well. I guess I didn't see where I was drilling at. Alright, let's take this over to the trash can and dump some of this stuff out. Alright, a little cleaner. Doesn't have to be perfect. We just have to let it clean itself out, and then we'll run it over and dump out this liquid that we sprayed in there. Alright, let's see. Comes out pretty good. I mean, it doesn't really matter what looks like on the inside as long as what we put in there is right. Alright, let's see. We've got to get this thing off, and we missed that freaking rivet by a little bit. Start off with a little bit smaller bit. I think we need to invest in a few more drill bits, some newer ones that aren't so wore out. See all the rust down inside there. All right, let's get this wiped up. I think I know how water got in here. That one's cracked. Alright, so now we're going to straighten this out. So we bend it all up. See what we can do here. Alright, we need to put a new switch on there. Since we use a different switch than they do. I don't really like their switches. Stepper bit. Just make the hole a little bit bigger. Switch fits right up inside there. Take the nut off the top of this switch. And push up to the back. And then I don't tighten this up all the way, because if I got the switch wires on wrong, you can't just like reverse the wire, because it's just on and off. There's no like polarity type thing to it. So even if you switch the wires around, off is, if you have it backwards, on and off or backwards, when you flip the switch on the front, it won't matter which way those wires are on. So off is going to be off for the switch, and on is going to be on. So then you have to rotate the switch around. Come on, get on there. There. So we get it kind of not snug, but just enough to where we can take some of the slop out of it. And if we need to loosen up just a little bit, we will. Alright, I'm going to get another switch cover, or a needle gauge. I've used two different needle gauges for this unit. They made one that was flush mounted and one that poked through a little ways. Alright, let's see. I really need to get that little chunk out of there. Get that out of the way. So we can still get it out of there or not. We broke through that time, and then we need a bit that's a little bit longer or bigger around. Now we're working. All right, where'd that gauge go? Okay, now I need to get a bolt and a nut for that. that on there. Kind of get it stabilized, and then we'll take a screwdriver and we'll fasten it up. All right. Just run like that. All right, where's the board at? New 6-volt board. Take the wires, stretch them out. I would bend these things out so that way the board goes on, it stays in place. Come on. Okay, I think that's good. Alright, now we can put the wires back in. I'm going to cut these back just a little bit because they were corroded down there. That one red wire actually corroded right off. So we'll just get back to some good fresh wire. Alright. Plug these in. I'm going to take a Dremel tool type thing with a wire brush. I'm going to clean these wires up. All right. Clamp on a couple spade connectors. Now we gotta get the switch wired on. Got some wire here. Get another couple spade connectors. Crimp this on. And I'm going to make it long because if I need to switch this from over here, be able to rotate this switch around, I want to be able to reach the farthest point from where it sits at. That way there's plenty of room to work with, and I'll cut this a little bit longer just to have a little breathing room. And what we're going to do, I usually, on the switches that we use, I usually solder the wires to the back versus using those little screw-on deals, because I don't want the dumb thing to loosen up, vibrate the screws loose. So if you solder on there, it basically welds it to the thing, and you don't have to worry about the thing coming off ever again. Unless you heat the solder up, remove it. Alright, so now add some solder to each one of these wires. Now we'll heat it back here, and we'll add solder to this. So this takes a little while to heat up because there's a lot of metal right here. Like that heat really built up on them threads and stuff. And then we'll, as you add solder, that solder tins everything, helps the heat transfer. On. There it goes. Alright. Now, take a wire, and we'll just heat them both up together, and it should just fuse together. We'll pull it away, let it solidify and harden up. Same thing over here. Solidify and harden up. Alright, now if this transformer is all good, this connector, that's still hot right there. I'm going to, because that's kind of crusty looking, and I'm afraid that thing's going to break loose. So I'm going to cut this wire. We'll pull this little insulated tube deal off. I'm going to cut it back to here somewhere. We're going to take this green wire that I just used, and we're going to solder these two together. And I think we got some heat shrink that will still allow that to fit over that. Let's see, can I get some heat shrink? That way we know we're getting a good metal to metal connection, and I don't have to worry about that corrosion on here or the old wire that was on there to be brittle, making a connection now, but then get bumped just right and pop off, and then the guy's like, hey, that unit you fixed for me all a while back ain't working anymore, and because of something stupid like that happened. So to lessen the chance of that happening, we're going to solder and heat shrink some wire, these wires together. So we'll use these pliers to kind of hold the wire for us. Then we'll tin the wires in each one of them. Same thing over here, we'll tin the wire, some solder. I'm actually going to cut some of this off. This doesn't need to be as long as it is, or exposed as it is. And then we'll line these up side by side. Oh, God, it's still hot. Heat the two of them up. Let them cool off. Solidify and harden up. Alright, so this is going to go over here, so we'll cut this Let's heat shrink it first. Before we're doing a cutting on the wire. Alright, so now we'll take it and we'll cut it just a little long. I can always trim the wire up as need be. Then we'll get that little tube that goes on here that kind of keeps the wire insulated, because this is the hot wire, the fence side, and the case is grounded, so we don't want the case to accidentally, this wire to accidentally pop off and short out against the case. Cut off. We'll cut off about that much, about an inch or two. Strip off a little bit. I'm going to clean up this terminal here. Alright, we're going to add some solder to the wire itself. We'll go down here, heat this solder up here, just to get some new fresh solder contact there, and then we'll hold the two together. Heat them up, let the solder flow, release the soldering iron, let it solidify and harden up. Alright. Alright, let's get some power to it. So we'll have to tighten up the switch still. So before we tighten it up, we need to make sure we have the position of the switch right. Alright, let's get the leads here. We're going to apply power here. We got a power supply set at 7 volts. Alright, power supply is on. Let's see what it does. And what it should do, if this position is right, it's got newer switch cover, newer board in there. So this will do this back and forth thing. So right now, power supply is on, the switch is off, so we might be all right. Switch on. That's good. Okay, the gauge is in the green? Alright, in the green. Let's put our tester at the fence and ground. So that should be about 6,000, give or take. That's where we're supposed to be. Alright, now let's get this switch tightened up since we know we've got it in the right position that we want it. It says off and on, so we want off to be off and on to be on. That sort of thing. Okay, and I got this rubber piece running up on the outside. Okay, button this thing up. Well, this one's going to be done here before too long. Alright, well, we got to fix up this a little bit more, but other than that, I mean, electrically it's still fine. We'll probably clean this little gauge up on the front, the shield on the front there, and we'll seal that up with some stuff. So, well, if you'd like to have us take a look at your fence charger for you, whatever brand you got, if you got a Parmak 6-volt solar or 12-volt solar, or any other brand or model, send it on here. We'll take a look at it for you. Hope you got some good information out of this. Get a hold of us if you'd like. Until next time, we'll see you guys later on. Bye-bye.